right, good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Radio voice right there.
He said I have a radio voice. I'm gonna remember that. Well, good morning, everyone. This announcement we're going to be making today is something that's truly important. One of the things that's amazing about the state of Michigan is that we have so many assets and we have such a rich history and innovation. And one of the things that we're talking about this week and thinking about as we move forward is how we can use these incumbent assets as a platform for growth, innovation, creativity, entrepreneurship, and invention, something that we're better at than any place in the country. And this coalition that has come together around these ideas is one of the most exciting that our state has ever seen. So I'm really proud to welcome you here to talk about a launching pad that we are creating here in the state of Michigan for people to do things that have never been seen and leverage the assets that have made Michigan such an amazing platform for innovation for our history. And to talk more about it, I'd like to introduce my partner in public service, our friend and our leader, Governor of the state of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer.
Thank you. Got to bring this down to regular people height. All right. Today we're making an exciting announcement that is going to help Michigan innovators and entrepreneurs shine bright. As you all know, the legislature and I are focused on expanding our economic development toolkit. One key aspect to economic development is innovation. Just last week, the MEDC announced grants to diverse businesses to help them get their ideas off the ground. We're all united in supporting innovation, including my good friends who've joined me here today, Oakland County Executive Dave Coulter, Wayne County Executive Warren Evans, who's represented by our good friend Assad Turfy, and Macomb County Executive Mark Hackle, as well as our partner from Automation Alley. We are all need to focus on innovation. I'm gonna have a lot more to say in my remarks on the stage in a little bit, but we wanted to highlight something that we are doing together now. We're here today to talk about Automation Alley's Project DIAMOnD. It is a shared network of 3D printers that small manufacturers can use at lower costs and scale up production. So it started in Oakland County, who used federal funds to partner with Automation Alley and set up this network. Project DIAMOnD has been a remarkable success, benefiting hundreds of businesses. During the pandemic, the network of 3D printers helped small Michigan manufacturers produce PPE. It was activated again during the early days of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Our Ukrainian allies needed tourniquet clips, so companies like Automation Industries, a conveyor systems manufacturer in Roseville, Michigan, answered the call. They 3D printed tourniquets, saving lives on the battlefield and hospitals across Ukraine. Michigan Manufacturing supported an ally in Europe, fighting back against a brutal invasion. Does this sound familiar? We built the arsenal of democracy to win World War II. And as you can see, those same instincts are still alive and well. We have the knowledge and the know-how to help our friends, and we can use the same technology to grow our economy too. When Project DIAMOnD's 3D printers aren't being used for national priorities, manufacturers can use them for their own production. Many ambitious Michigan businesses took up the mantle. These small manufacturers, family businesses, never considered 3D printing because they didn't have the resources to buy a machine, or they thought they weren't able to figure it out. Now hundreds of businesses use 3D printers to make stuff that is critical to manufacturing process here in America instead of relying on products that are shipped from overseas. So they're harnessing the infrastructure of innovation. Now with this federal commitment, with these funding commitments from Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb, we can expand Project DIAMOnD to all 3 counties. All 3 counties will be supporting this effort, including with federal resources they've gotten from the Biden-Harris administration. Eventually, our goal will be to expand Project DIAMOnD statewide to all 83 counties. But the big 3 are going to lead the way. Together, we can build out what I'm calling the infrastructure for innovation all across Michigan. Because when you give Michiganders the tools they need, we are capable of extraordinary things, of solving the world's problems. You can already see 3D manufacturing taking off in Michigan from the 313 to the 906. In Island View neighborhood of Detroit, Citizen Robotics printed the walls, exteriors, and porch of our state's first 3D printed home. Excuse me, I haven't talked enough yet today. In Rochester Hills, apologize. All right, I'm good now. In Rochester Hills, Aaron Liquid Systems, a filtration and separation equipment manufacturer, 3D printed a stainless steel part that used to cost them $100. They're now printing it for $1 out of carbon fiber. In Clinton Township, Zero Tolerance, a designer of plastic injection molds, now 3D prints them, allowing them to bring on more clients. In Oxford, Barron Industries, a maker of precision casts, components, and assemblies for defense and aerospace firms, expanded their 3D printing capabilities earlier this month. And it's not just happening downstate. At Michigan Tech and the UP, there's a 3D printer that can print stuff out of 11 different metals, including chrome, steel, and titanium. Local manufacturers can rent it by the hour and have on-site experts help them to get the job done. So there's a lot of potential here. Across Michigan, there are more than 14,000 small manufacturers. 64% of them are in these 3 counties alone. Imagine what they can do when they have access to this kind of infrastructure for innovation, like the Project DIAMOnD 3D printing network, making parts for a fraction of the price, doing them here in Michigan, lowering their costs, speeding up production, boosting revenue, so they can explore new product lines and create jobs. So I'm really excited that these 3 counties, Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb, have committed to working together with Automation Alley and my good friend Tom Kelly at Automation Alley. We're very excited about what this is going to mean for the state of Michigan. Together, we'll continue this momentum and take this initiative statewide, build the infrastructure for innovation, lower costs, larger scale, and lead the future, whether it's in mobility, electrification, clean energy, defense, and so many other industries. That's what we do in Michigan. That's who we are. And with that, I'd like to hand it over to my good friend, Oakland County Executive Dave Coulter.
Thank you. Thank you. We are so lucky to have a governor and a lieutenant governor that get it. This is really important project. And let me just say, it was born during the pandemic when we were trying to help our small manufacturers survive as they lost business and they didn't have things for their employees to do. And so it created an opportunity where they had downtime to say, what if we gave you a printer and then we could help you train some of your folks on it and you could learn how to do it. And you heard the governor talk about one of the most remarkable stories, and I've met the owner of that company. $100 part is now $1. Well, that gets a business person's attention right away. So immediately you're gonna help me save cost? Yeah. But then the added beauty of this is that this is a connected network. So this relatively small manufacturer can now connect his printers to all the other printers in the network, and they can compete for global size contracts because they can get a piece of it and participate in the global supply chain right here in Michigan. Our manufacturers, when people are writing off manufacturers, Michigan is leaning in on the innovation that we can provide to our manufacturers. And the governor said it well. A lot of these business owners, they've been in the business a long time. They're used to stamping things and knocking them out that way. And they didn't understand it. They didn't have the time to train people on it. They didn't really understand the value. But the silver lining of the pandemic was they had the time to investigate it, to train folks. And now they're thriving. And that was our goal when we created this program. We don't want you to just survive the pandemic. We want you to thrive going forward. And our friends at Automation Alley helped us understand. And I think Tom's probably going to talk about Industry 4.0 because the world is changing. And Michigan is going to lead the way. And in a space, in a sector where we have led the way for decades in manufacturing. We can do it here, cheaper, more effectively, connected with each other. So I'm so proud that this governor and this administration understands the scalability of this, because any county, any community that has small or mid-sized manufacturers will benefit from this program. We have about 3,300 small manufacturers in Oakland County, and a lot of them we're talking about, you know, when the owner retires and if they don't have a family member that wants to take over the business, they might just shut it down, costing us those jobs, shipping more production overseas. Now, I talked to a company where a guy was getting close to retirement, and he said, I thought I was just going to shut it down. I'm old. I'm not making as much money as I used to be. Now he sold his business to someone who understood the value of it, and now all of those employees are going to stay employed right here in Oakland County. And by the way, people talk about, is this going to cost jobs? No, because you need people to run the printers. You need the programmers. You need the trainers to train. And I'm sure Tom will talk more about that as well. So it's a win-win for our small manufacturers. And more importantly, thanks to the governor's leadership, it's a win for Michigan to compete on a global scale, bring supply chain back to Michigan, back to the 3 counties at first, and then statewide. And I can't wait to go to Marquette and see what they're doing up there. So, I encourage you, if you haven't seen it, you need to see it with your own eyes. Some of these 3D printers aren't any bigger than a microwave. And you say, how can possibly this small little printer do what this big stamping machine behind me does? And it's amazing to see how quickly, how efficiently, and how strong these products are. And we're going to make them in Michigan right here. And so really happy to be here today to announce the launch of this program. And I should end by saying, yeah, in Oakland County, we started this with our ARP dollars. So thank you to the Biden-Harris administration for that. And my partners on the Board of Commissioners, our Chair Dave Woodward and our Vice Chair Mike Spiz, who appropriated the money so that we could do this. And my deputy executive who oversaw this project, Sean Carlson. So with that, I'm excited to introduce our newest partners in this, and that is Assad Turfa in Wayne County. So thanks, Assad.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So it's a beautiful day to be on here on Mackinac Island, and not just because of the weather and the great company that we have up here, but about the opportunity that's being laid out today. This is a game changer for the entire state. And this may have started in Southeast Michigan, and Wayne County is a new partner in this, but the collaboration between the 3 county executives, County Executive Warren Evans, County Executive Dave Coulter, and County Executive Mark Hackle is like none other. Everyone talks about collaboration, and collaboration is the new currency. It's the new way of doing business, but it's not done that often, and it's not easily done, but it's done because they trust each other. And they understand that it's important to work together to have the great outcome for the region. The opportunity that's going to be given here is going to essentially take a small business owner, a mom and pop shop, and let them compete in the manufacturing world. Once Michigan was the leader in the manufacturing world, and we're going to end up getting there by advanced manufacturing. This is definitely a great opportunity. We're excited to be a part of it. We're excited to see what the future and how this is going to be a game changer for the entire state of Michigan. Thank you to our partners at the state level, Automation Alley, the County Executive Coulter and County Executive Hackle. This is definitely going to be a game changer. And with that, I'm going to announce the next person that comes up here. I'm going to call him a fellow team member. Because with every single team and every project you work for, you got to rely on each other's skills to take you to the next level. And the next person, everybody up here has the ability to reach across the aisle and work with people. This is the individual that works right in the aisle, and we use that skill set to help get things done in the Tri-County area. So with that, I call my great friend, the great County Executive, Mark Hackle.
Thank you. Thanks, Assad. If you don't know what if you don't understand what he's talking about, reach out to Nolan Findley. He will explain exactly what that means. And by the way, I'm a 4.6 today, right? For those that are wondering. This guy's probably a 9.9. So, that being said, you know what I do? I have to follow up specifically on Dave's comments and thanking the governor and lieutenant governor. This is incredible for us to have the opportunity to have folks that really truly understand at a higher level within government, because it makes a difference. You know, the support that they give to many things that are going on in our various communities and throughout the state are important. And one of those is manufacturing. Yeah, I remember when I first took office as county executive, manufacturing was one of those challenged areas, and we were wondering, should we redefine ourselves? And we come to the realization, no, this is what we've done. This is what we're all about. This is the stronghold of our economy here. And so we doubled down on it. And who do we double down on? The state, our state partners. And so we went to the state and said, you know, what do we need to do and how do we advance this manufacturing? And I got to tell you, I mean, it's incredible to see what we have here. And, you know, we too have added some funding supported by the Biden-Harris administration, and we're very thankful for that and very supportive of that. But really, if you stop and think about it, what's really unique about what we have here in the state of Michigan, especially Southeast Michigan, from concept to consumer, no one else does it better. I mean, from the thinking of something and the ideas that are out there and turning it into the product that people are using out there throughout the entire country and beyond. It is amazing what the workforce does here in Michigan, especially in Southeast Michigan. And now you're bringing in these 3D printers for people that have never seen them before, don't understand it. These manufacturing, as was talked about by the governor before, some of these facilities, if you remember, they were archaic. They were not what we think of today. And they're looking at this new technology, and they're trying to figure out how do they deploy this new technology, these companies, and they have to educate their workforce, and they're doing that. And so these people are excited about this new technology, and they take it and run it. We had 50 companies in Macomb County took on this challenge. And Tom, I'm going to be introducing him in a second here, going and talking to Automation Alley, who's an incredible partner, who has a passion for this, and saying, you know what, we need a little bit of help and assistance to get them to understand the importance of this. And it didn't take long. Every one of those companies jumped on board and supported it. And as I hear from Vicki Rowinski, our planning economic development partner here, the connection she has with these companies and saying, this is so exciting. This is, we're looking at actually what it's going to be is a printer farm throughout the entire state of Michigan, where if there's a call for some type of order, people are going to get this simultaneously through Automation Alley and be able to compete for that. Or if there's a need because of some national crisis or issue that might be happening, there's going to be all hands on deck to produce this product on these printers. So we're very fortunate to have been a partner from day one with Automation Alley and working with Oakland County because they're the ones that truly do make this difference here. And they're the ones that really came up with this idea and thought, hey, how do we advance manufacturing on a different level? And again, it's not happening anywhere else in the country, but in Southeast Michigan. And it's because of this gentleman here, Tom Kelly, the director of Automation Alley. Tom?
Oh, thank you, Governor. I know I have a little peanut gallery going too. Thank you, Governor, Lieutenant Governor. So those of you who know me, I can't follow all these great comments, but those of you who know me, especially in the press, this is my Christmas, my wedding, and the birth of my 2 children all rolled into one. Today is the day. I probably embellished a little bit on that. And my wife's watching, I do. Yes, I love you. But you know how passionate I am. This is our day when Michigan, you are going to see us play offense in manufacturing like you have never seen. Manufacturing is going software first. It's going additive, and it's going distributed. You don't need big capital-intensive manufacturing plants to make things anymore. You can distribute it. If we had 300 in Oakland County and 50 in Macomb County, when we have thousands around the state, you can produce thousands of things at once. From basements, from garages, from tech companies, from bakeries. Let your creativity run wild. This is where manufacturing is going. And we built Project Diamond to meet the moment. And the moment is right now, right now. So all of you that are writing about this, understand what's happening in Michigan. And the fact that nowhere else in the country have they thought that far ahead of where the puck is going. And we are right there, ready for that puck to take the shot and score. I probably need to get off that metaphor. So I want to thank all of, that's right. So thank you very much to all of our partners, the state and our county executives. The ride is going to be fantastic. And trust us when we say, you ain't seen nothing yet when it comes to how Michigan plays offense in manufacturing. So thank you, everyone.
By the way, tell them what Diamond stands for.
And a request from Dave Coulter is Project Diamond. Diamond is very specific. It means distributed, independent, agile manufacturing on demand. Distributed, independent, agile manufacturing on demand. And this is what we're going to bring to Michigan. And every small business in Michigan can participate in this network. It's not about the bigs, it's about the littles. And the littles are going to be the ones that make Michigan great again, just as it should be.
All right. Coulter admitted he wanted Tom to define it because he can never remember what it stands for. Okay. Everyone's in good form today. Okay. Happy to open it up for some questions. Go ahead, Stacy.
Yep, we have a few minutes for questions from the press. Paula?
This seems like a very unique economic development effort, and I've I've enjoyed hearing about it. But it also makes me think about how there's some movement to diversify how we approach economic development in Michigan, including possibly reducing money towards like MEDC and traditional efforts. And I'm just wondering what your thoughts are on that right now.
I think our approach has been all of the above. And so it's not that we do one thing to the exclusion of another, it's that we've got to really be creative. We've got to listen to innovators and entrepreneurs and make sure that we're doing everything to support them. As we think about big fabs and manufacturing plants, we got to do that too, right? But this is really, I think, the way that we support small business, that we help people that are taking a personal risk, come up with a good idea, and want to see it come to fruition here. In my remarks on the stage later today, you'll hear more about the infrastructure for innovation. That's what we're calling this. This is a piece of a larger strategy, but it is an all of the above approach. Anything you want to add, LG?
And when you're thinking about where the growth will come from for our economy going forward, it's going to come from putting more tools and more resources in the hands of more creators, of more small businesses. We've seen over the last decade, our job growth in the state has come from smaller companies and newer companies. And so by putting more resources out there, another person with an idea that hasn't had the ability, the support, or the courage to take that leap and to start a business, they will be able to try that because of networks like this, because of assets that were not available to them previously, but are available to them today. And so this is about laying a foundation for the future that a person, no matter what the scale of their idea is, that their idea is more possible in Michigan because of this infrastructure for innovation.
Any other questions?
So, to be determined. We're all meeting together. This is the next phase. So Project Diamond is fully funded for the next 12 months. And this is why we got together, to decide how do we make sure that we can roll this out in a way that all the state can benefit from Project Diamond. And we're going to start with the 3 counties to make sure that we're saturating our counties so that all of the small manufacturers that are in Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb can be participants. And that makes a lot of sense, because if you're printing a lot of things distributed, then it becomes a logistics problem of assembling them all back together. The Amazons and the UPSs and the FedExes of the world come around and pick up those parts and re-aggregate them. So we're going to be talking about that, and I'm sure we'll have more to announce in the future.
Can I just add something? Because in Oakland County, we're in phase 2 of Project Diamond. In phase 1, we gave the printers away, no cost to the business owners. In phase 2, they share in part of the cost. I think by phase 3 and phase 4, businesses are going to understand the value of this and how much money that they save, that we expect that the sustainability will be from the businesses themselves, who will just buy the printers because they understand now the value of being part of the project. So I think this is initial funding that will eventually be covered by the businesses themselves.
We have time for one last question. Devin?
I don't know who's best to address this, but can you talk a little bit about the future of 3D printing and what can't we 3D print? I mean, is there, I don't know who's best to address this, but
okay.
yeah.
I'm going to let Tom. Tom's a little excited about this, if you haven't picked up on it. So I'm going to let Tom address that. But, you know, Devin, everything from I am. You can stay as long as you want. You know, everything from building a whole house in a 3D printer to a rocket ship to a vodka bottle, there's so much opportunity here. So, Tom, why don't you come up and take a stab at answering the rest, and I'm going to go back to the residents. Bye.
Really, the governor did a fantastic job. That's exactly right. We have to understand, so the federal government, the Department of Defense right now is trying to 3D print an entire ship. That's a project's going on. They're building a small version of it in Macomb County as a test to build an autonomous factory in Virginia that just kicks out ships, because we know we have a big problem in defense when it comes to shipbuilding. All of this will be possible. And it really lends itself to the small manufacturers all banding together, because most big components are made up of thousands and thousands and thousands of little components that fit inside a bread box. And if that bread box can happen to magically make the part, like we can with 3D printing, what it does is it frees the manufacturer from understanding all these different processes, and it pushes them back to what they were born to do, which is to innovate. And if we give them the ability to innovate, that's what's going to change Michigan's trajectory. And Dave wanted to know now what a bread box is. So I don't know how to define that.
That's all the
And
time
with
we
that,
have.
thank you, everybody.